Mega Man! What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us once again on the D-Star01 channel. I'm your host, Dexter Arafiles, and today we will be going over the Kotobukiya Mega Man X, or Rockman X, according to Japan. So this is a model kit. As you can see from my last video, I did a time-lapse build of him. You can watch it, just go into my channel and watch it. And yeah, he is a little bit difficult. We're going to go into the paint and detail, and we're going to talk about the build in paint and detail. Then afterwards, we're going to go through articulation and scale and accessories. But before we do that, let's give a big shout out to one of my subscribers, Daniel Hernandez, who has let me take this model kit and build it for him so I can review it. So big ups to you, buddy. Thank you so much for letting me build this. This was a very fun build. Now, let's just jump right into paint and detail of this guy. He's very, what can I say, amazing looking. Just look how cool he looks. But to get here takes some time. This build took me 3.5 hours. Wow. That is longer than most builds that I make through Figurize. I'm so used to building Figurize, and I said to myself, oh, Kotobukiya is going to make a Mega Man figure, which looks like to be a Figurize-like model set, but I'm a little bit wrong on that one. All the joints take a long time to fit, and as you can tell from the video that I made with the time-lapse, it required a lot of time with some sanding sticks that I have here, and precise cuts are necessary. I think the main problem that I have in building this thing is that the spokes, I think that's what they're called, the spokes that hold these are all in inconvenient places. Like in between here when they could have just been right here, so it's an easy to shave off type thing. And so you have to really shave these down. Let me just show you what I mean. You have to really shave down the excess plastic that develops here due to the things that hold them. I believe it's called the spokes once again. Yeah, you really have to get in there, and that's really time consuming to get a really good looking Mega Man. Even now, I'm looking at this Mega Man, even though he looks good on camera, there's so many things that I could be doing to finish him up even more. I could be sanding down the seams right here even more, just to have it look more clean. And here's what I mean about that. So if you look really close right here, this is where one of the spokes was, and it's so inconvenient. Why is it there? It could be somewhere else, like right here. This is easy to shave off, but they decided to put it in the seams, so you have to really get in there to make sure that it is a perfect fit, and that's the main issue that I have with this thing. It took forever to build, but is it worth it? Oh yeah, absolutely. Just look at it. The perfect blue and cyan. The little jewel that's on top of his helmet right there, that's really cool. Even the boots down here look really cool. The blaster, I absolutely love that they did that. And it's just a really nice figure. Now, I kind of was hoping that Kotobukiya would make a figure. I know they don't really make figures of Mega Man X now that I think they have the license for it, but I don't think they will. They kind of just want you to do the work. But yeah, so if you buy this kit, which you can get at dstartoys.com, by the way, just look to set aside about 2 to 3 hours to build him perfect. You can rough build him in about an hour and a half, but probably not. I would say definitely go for the 2 hours, just because you really want to get in there and sand in or sand all the what do you call it, the seams and the plastic pieces so they fit perfectly. If you do not fit this guy perfectly, let me just tell you, I know the time-lapse video doesn't really tell you because you can't hear me talking about it. If you don't get in there, it won't fit, and you're gonna have to go back. You don't want to do that. Get it right the first time, and you'll have something that looks like this, if not even better. One more thing when it comes to paint and detail. Oops, as his head comes off. I highly recommend, if you buy this kit, to super glue in the chest piece once you get it fitted perfectly, because if you don't, and here's a major issue when it comes to the little details and articulation of this guy, if you don't, as soon as you move his arm up, this will interfere with the armor and it'll pop off. So when you super glue that, you don't have that armor or that problem anymore. Yeah, and I think that's really one of the big issues I also have. But once I super glued that, it really just works really well now. And I think that's really it. I think besides that, this is just the most amazing looking Mega Man X action figure I have ever seen. He just looks so cool. Ever since I saw him at Comic-Con, I couldn't wait to get this in my hands, and now that he's here, it's really unbelievable that I have a figure like this on my table. So, let's go into articulation and scale. So, let's see how tall he's standing. He is standing at about, let's see here, 5.5 inches. Now, here's my old D-Arts Mega Man, which I fixed on Figure Fix Friday. As you can see, this is scaled much bigger in terms of scale. This figure is kind of old. I think I bought this in like 2012. Yeah, this is a really old figure. They don't make the D-Arts one anymore. But as you can see, yeah, definitely the scale, definitely much bigger than the D-Arts one. But the difference here between these two, besides the scale, is that this one is a lot heavier because it's filled with plastic, or heavier, more dense plastic. But since you have to build this one, the plastic parts are lighter. So you're definitely going to feel a weight difference between these two. Let's see if we can get another figure on here, because we kind of have a theme of blue going on here. We have a Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku from the Broly movie. As you can see, these two actually scale really well. And of course, everyone loves Marvel Legends. We have Marvel Legends Iron Man there. So that looks really cool. I guess these two would fit more in a Marvel vs. Capcom scenario. So yeah, he fits really well on that accord. So let's go over articulation. We have an up and down here, or a ball joint there at the ankle there. We have a joint here at the knee, which you do have to build the joints. They are very time consuming to build those joints, let me tell you, especially if you want to fit it perfect. And also we have a rotation there at the lower thigh and a rotation here at the upper thigh, as well as a ball joint there. We have two joints here in the midsection. Not so much of an ab crunch right there, but that's okay. He's a robot. He doesn't need to do that. We have somewhat of a butterfly joint. I think this is the weakest joint in the entire model kit. Everything else super tight. Like, whoa! Super, super tight when I first built this together. This, not so much. They really needed to work on this. I think this is the biggest issue that I have with his joint system, is like very loose, while everything else, look, as I'm trying to push his arm up, that's just a lot of resistance. You really gotta get work in this guy if you want him to pose really well, or not as difficult. You have to just move him around a lot so you can loosen him up. We have a bicep sole right there. We have a up and down here at the elbow, which is just a single point joint. And we do have a ball joint here at the wrist. And we have two at the neck, looking to be under 20 points of articulation, I believe, but he's still very articulated, so you can get all his classic poses. Let's just do a few of those classic poses right now. We got him running down the highway in the beginning of Mega Man X1. Got to do something like that. And you can have him do his jump. See, this joint right here is just annoying. Considering that that's the only loose joint and everything else is tight, it's really hard to get him to do all the pose, but it is possible. See, you can have him do the jump like that. And then, here, let's see if we get this here. You can have him like do some sort of wall thing when he's sliding down the wall. And you can have it like that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff. He's not super stiff, but he's quite, those joints are pretty hard though. You gotta work it in. I've been working on this thing for about 3 hours now. So let's move on to accessories. So you do get hands. You also have to build these. These hands are ginormous. Just look at the size of these hands in comparison to the D-Arts one. Really like Mickey Mouse hands here. Let's see if we can just replace these real quick. There's the peg for that, and we can have an open hand right here. So you can have him do something like this. And again, since these are really tight, you really got to work with it. Something like that looks really cool with that hand. And then we do have a not so open hand here. Oh shoot. Let's see if we can get that out. Something like that. And that looks really cool right there. This popped out of one of the hands. You just got to pop that guy back in. So let me just tell you, as you guys can tell as I'm playing with this thing, He is literally for display only. Do not play with this figure, okay? Let me say that again. Display only. So let's look at the face plates right here. We got an angry side-looking face. Let's see if we can get that on there. Let's remove this one. Very simple to do. Just pull out and forward. And then we're going to plug this one in. So we have something like this. That looks really cool right there. And then we have a yelling action face right here. That looks really cool. And okay, so now that we're done with that, let's look at the Charge Blast here. This looks really cool, really easy to assemble. Here's my issue with this. You really got to kind of like, see as the arm keeps falling off. See, this is my biggest issue with this figure. You really got to kind of kneel him down like that in order to get that shot to look good. Something like that. He cannot stand up straight and shoot that because this stand isn't tall enough. But nonetheless, I mean, just look at that. Doesn't that look awesome? Whew, love that. Last but not least, if you ordered this from Ami Ami, which Daniel did, you get these extra pieces. I believe these are standard. This is like the heart container and the life pickup, stuff like that. I forgot what this one is. And they do have their own stands. You can only get this at amiami.com, which Daniel got it from. So let's come up with a conclusion of this model kit or action figure or whatever you want to call it, hybrid type thing. Here's my biggest negative. And I got to be real with you. These shoulder things are annoying. Everything else, super tight. These, they just fall off so easy. I mean, look, let me see. See, look how that's just very easy to remove. Everything else is not so easy to remove. So that kind of gets rid of that whole action figure feel where everything is sturdy and doesn't fall apart as easy. And you can tell that it's a model because of that. Now, I think another negative I have is you really have to work in, which couldn't be a negative, honestly. If you really like to work on your models and action figures, then this is probably a really fun thing to do, which to me is pretty fun. But I can see a lot of people grudging this, is sanding in between the seams or sanding them before you put them all together. You have to do that to practically every part of this model. So let's talk about the positives. The scale. Wow, love the scale. He's a lot bigger. He's these joints, besides the shoulder joints, very tight. Love the colors, very accurate to the game. He's practically an action figure, despite the fact that he has the loose shoulder joints. I just love the way he looks. This is easily one of my favorite model kits I've seen so far. Maybe it's because I just love playing Mega Man X, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Mega Man X fan, this is easily one of the best purchases, and it's just amazingly fun to build. If you don't like to build models, so here's where I'm going to here's a disclaimer for those who don't like or don't really know how to build models, and you really want this figure, I suggest you get your tools ready. I'm going to put down in the description down below what you need, which would be sanding sticks, and even better clippers, for removing all the parts. These are very, very crucial in building this thing. I don't even think, let me check the manual. This is all in Japanese too, because this is the Japanese version. Yeah, the manual doesn't really tell you unless you're, yeah, let me see here. So use of glue is recommended. Yeah, so it says to use glue, obviously, as I told you before. You definitely need the cutoff stuff. I don't think it tells you to sand. Yeah, it doesn't really tell you to sand. Get these. Get these sanding sticks. 100% recommended. You can get these on Amazon. You can get these at any hobby store. You have to get it to get this guy to look super, super good. So that is my recommendation. Yeah, besides that, fantastic. Love this thing. Can't wait to get my own and pose it on my desk. And in the future, there will be more. So also, if you want to get this, you can go to www.dstartoys.com, your reliable source for awesome action figures. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Hey you! Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Where? Right here, not there, right here. You. And thanks for watching. So, rate, comment, and subscribe. Right here, right there, right here. Yeah.